What makes a superstar deserving to win an MVP? Is it the individual stats and accolades garnered throughout the regular season? Or where your team ends up in the standings? Although this question does not have a right answer, Luka Doncic's MVP candidacy was in the heat of this debate this year. Despite leading the league in scoring, 33.9 points, and putting up historic numbers, many believe Luka did not deserve to take the MVP trophy home. Today's video will be about how Luka Doncic is proving the NBA media wrong. Like every year, the analysts and talking heads were engaged in battles after the league announced the most valuable player of the 2023-24 season, as Nikola Jokic won his third MVP. Many were unhappy with the decision, as they found Shai Gilgeous-Alexander more deserving of the award. The arguments took many interesting and outrageous turns. Shaquille O'Neal, the supporter of Gilgeous-Alexander, even released a diss track of Shannon Sharpe, who had Jokic as his choice. The argument of Jokic versus Gilgeous-Alexander went on for many days, creating headlines every day and taking the limelight. However, in this chaos, the experts missed out on one important name. Luka Doncic was also in the mix, but the star was completely overlooked because of the other two. Despite the star being third in the voting, there were close to no conversations about his incredible resume this season. But Doncic is eyeing a better milestone than MVP, as he is the only one moving forward in the championship race. As Doncic himself ended the OKC Thunder season, the Denver Nuggets were sent home by the Minnesota Timberwolves. However, witnessing Luka's failure against the LA Clippers in the playoffs over the years, Michael Hawley believed the Mavs superstar did not belong in the MVP conversation.
In the MVP conversation, you have Luka, and they don't win this series. You lose 3 times in the first round to the Clippers.
I'm not accepting Luka slander.
Mike, hold on.
I will not hold on. Luka belongs in the MVP conversation. This time just ain't come yet.
3 times!
This we will not do. It is a regular season award. It is certainly not an award that is a lifetime achievement. I don't give 2 shits about Luka and the Mavs shitting the bed in previous playoffs when it comes to what Luka did this year. And for the record, Jokic is my MVP, but don't tell me that Luka is disqualified because he may lose in the first round.
Imagine as we all sit there and hear Luka say, you know what, my career would have been a lot different if I could have gotten by the Clippers. I don't think he's one of the 3 best players in basketball. I do not fear a Luka Doncic-led team because I need to see something else. I think he's fun to watch. I need some fear in my heart.
Luka Doncic is one of the greatest offensive NBA players to ever play the game of basketball. He's also one of the biggest complainers in NBA history to some people. One former NBA All-Star gave a reality check to all of Luka's complaints to the referees.
The problem with Luka is not even like he's just, it ain't even technical worthy. You're just bitching.
He's just bitching, yeah.
You know, that's different than, like, you're saying everything but enough to get a technical.
Right.
But you're bitching to the point where it's affecting you offensively and defensively. You're walking on both sides of it. So that's the thing. Like, you are Luka, right? So, you know, they can't call everything for you, but they're going to give you the calls that they need to give you for you to still be you. So therefore, there's really they're not going to change your call.
Facts.
Right? I mean, Conley had to teach me that, right? They're not going to change your call once they do it.
For as much as Luka Doncic has struggled and complained during the NBA playoffs, the Dallas Mavericks still won the series against the Thunder. It's a testament to both his ability and the depth of the Mavericks. In a recent episode of the Bill Simmons podcast, the veteran NBA analyst discussed how Dallas Mavericks superstar had been underperforming in their first-round series against the Clippers.
Luka was the 4th best guy in this game, which I didn't think he looked right the whole game. And he hurt his knee. He did something. He just looked gimpy. And there was multiple moments in this game where it seemed like he was going to go on a Luka run when they had momentum, and then he would just miss a shot. The one time he hit a 3, he tied one in the 4th quarter. It was like, oh, with 5 minutes left. It was like, oh, there he is. This is, this is what he's, this is why he's one of the 3 best players in the league. But I thought for the most part, at one point I looked up, he was like 7 for 21, 7 for 22. But I just didn't think he was, I know he finished with a 29, 10, and 10, but I don't think he was nearly as impactful as the other 3 guys. Do you?
It's absurd to think that even if he's not 100%, the Slovenian native can still produce a triple-double. Doncic admitted post-game that he felt he let Irving down in that one. Although the Dallas Mavericks crumbled down the stretch of Game 4, there was at least one national media member who thought Luka Doncic and company could still win the series. NBA analyst for ESPN and former player Tim Legler believes Dončić, who has been underwhelming this postseason, would have a big response based on how he's performed in high-pressure postseason moments over the course of his young career.
This comes down to their two best offensive players and two of the best offensive players in the league absolutely not showing up in the fourth quarter. It can't be all about facilitating and throwing lobs and to kick out threes. No, you two have to put the ball in the basket to stop the momentum of the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they weren't able to do it. I know one or both of them is going to show up in the remaining 2 or 3 games of this series. I believe it. I think Luka's playing way too slow. Maybe his leg won't let him play faster. If he doesn't pick up the pace and his sense of urgency with the ball and being more decisive and quicker the way he was in Game 5 against the Clippers, if he can't do that, what I just said is wrong. They won't win the series.
Among national media members, there hasn't been a bigger believer in the Mavs over the past several months than Tim Legler. They've proven him right up to this point. After the performance in Game 5 semis, Luka has certainly proved the prophecy made by Charles Barkley wrong. If you think Dončić was gonna not gloat over the fact, then you were wrong. During the post-game Q&A session, Dončić was questioned by the crew over at Inside the NBA on TNT.
What do you have to say to Charles back in the studio?
I don't know, but I love that show. I love those 4 guys. I always watch it, all the games. But maybe next time he can say it again in the next game. So maybe we'll win again.
Why and when did this all begin? After Game 4, Charles Barkley claimed OKC got lucky since Luka and Kyrie did not play well. Later on, however, he stated that OKC would manage to repeat their success during Game 5 in a big manner. His opinion certainly garnered the attention of many.
I think it's going to be, I'm expecting that place to be loud. I'm expecting OKC to run them out the building. I think they're going to come out tonight and run them out the building.
In the end, the 5-time NBA All-Star was able to make the 76ers legend eat his words. Despite dealing with an injury, he managed to reach the 31-point threshold through his 12 for 22 field goals and 5 for 11 three-pointers. Along with that, he also recorded 10 rebounds and 11 assists during the matchup, adding another postseason triple-double to his already impressive record. Barkley realized his mistake and made up for it. The 11-time NBA All-Star took the lead by complimenting the franchise on their great win and admitting his folly.
Hey, great win by the Mavs. I was wrong. Great win. Man, Luka was fantastic. Derrick Jones was fantastic.
Yeah.
And PJ played great down the stretch, but Luka set the tone early. They were playing downhill.
This is the second time in 3 years that the Mavericks are in the Western Conference Finals. They've gotten as far as they have in large part thanks to the usual dose of greatness from Dončić. His numbers may be down a touch from the regular season and previous playoff runs, but that is to be expected given what Luka has gone through this postseason. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Make sure to drop a like and subscribe to our channel.